Good luck, all y'all.
You too.
Race control has comms during qualify.
Good luck, all y'all.
Race control has comms during qualify.
What is going on, racing fans? Welcome back to the Impact Racing Network. I am Darren Vale, and we are opening up championship weekend here for the S.M.A.S.H League in the Challenger Truck Series. This is round 7 of 7 over at Darlington Speedway. We will see who can take control of that car and take it around this track with the least amount of damage. Let's take a look in at our current standings here on this season so far as we head into this championship bout. Chris Melton up top, Gunnar Cohen, who is not here tonight, Chris Boswell right behind him, Brian Smith, Edwin Herman, and Kyle Giles rounding out that top 6 there in this league. Keep in mind, this is a feeder series, so more important than what you see here in this championship league standings is what these drivers are learning and what they're competing for as they are trying to make their way over to the East Coast Truck Series, which battles right after this in a race that is twice as long. Our racers are wrapping up their qualifying sessions here, and we will check in on that in just a moment. Before we do, make sure you guys check out S.M.A.S.H League over at www.smashleague.gg to find out all the series they are running. They have different leagues running Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, starting here this weekend with the super late models. If you guys are interested, make sure you head on over there and check them out. Our racers are wrapping up the qualifying sessions now. We will take a look in on how they did. Our top three, we have Joe Lynch, Shane Markham, and Chris James taking those top three positions. Right behind them, we have Pylon, Christmas, Boswell, Owls, Palmer, and Spiral. Drivers are heading to the grid, and we'll get ready to start here in just a moment. Pace car is out. Drivers are making their way to the grid. Let's join them, shall we? '55-lap showdown here at Darlington Speedway. Another look at the keys to watch here. This track is really going to all tire management. It's going to be all about who can stay cool under pressure, trying to make these passes. This track does not have too much room. The wideness that you see is a little deceiving. Off we go. Following that pace car, leading the way is Lynch, Shane in the 47 there, and James in the 17. Let's take a look at our top 10 as we round out towards the line. Lynch on the inside, James right behind him, Christmas, Smith, and Palmer on the inside line. On the outside, we have Markham, Pylon, Boswell, Giles, and Spiral rounding out our top 10. Drivers are going to be on cold tires here. We'll see if they have the patience that we need to get going here early on at Darlington. Pace car is off. Green flag coming up. Let's get this championship weekend underway. Racers are off. Lynch leads the way there on the inside. Shane pushing him on the outside. Right behind them, Pylon and Jane still stacked side by side as we approach the turn here. We know that it takes a lot of control to not make mistakes as they're pushing through these turns. Back of the pack here as we check in on the middle. They're still too wide, fighting for position. Wreck. We have a wreck on the field. Caution is out here at Darlington. Not quite sure who got mixed in that. I think it was a Brian Smith there. We'll have to check in on that and see what happened with the 26. See if we can take a look at what happened there. Looking at the 26 of Brian Smith. Actually, it looks like the 62 in front of him is losing his car. That's Chris Boswell in the 62. The 26 of Brian Smith trying to make his way below that as he's losing it, and they come together.
Pace car's out of attitude. Pace car's attitude.
Sending them both up the track is going to... Oof, 5 squeaks by there, just avoiding the damage. But that is going to send 26 and 62 both in to the pits for early repairs here as our field resets and follows that pace car. Taking a look at your current race leader out there in front in the 9 car is Joe Lynch. Took that podium position out in the qualifying and holding on to it here early on. Plenty of laps remaining though. Got some people out there in the chat. If you guys have anyone you want us to highlight, make sure you let us know. We'll give them a little bit of extra love here. They're going to look in on Chris Trummel. Started in 14th, currently sitting in 11th in that 9 car, pushing his way around the track. Should we have a listen in on our drivers? See if they have any interesting feedback going on.
You don't have a brake shoot next to you?
For that chair.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, hold on a second. We're on the air.
I don't think we are.
Yeah, we are. Dirt cautious, we are.
Yeah, he'll listen in.
Yeah. Oh, how about that?
We love you,
Oh.
Darren.
Oh yeah. Well,
Sorry,
we
Darren.
know I'm muted.
Your hair looks nice, Darren.
I guess that's what you get for listening in.
That's right. Best looking guy
Yeah,
in the
but
league.
the guys that knew about it, the guys that knew about it should have fucking remembered that. I didn't.
I just didn't really care.
I mean, they want spicy stuff. They want fun stuff, right?
Yeah,
mean,
it
it's no
it
different
wasn't
listening
hate
to a
speech,
NASCAR
it wasn't
radio.
racist or nothing, so
Right.
Looks like they're talking about how spicy they're getting in the chat.
My wife's got it up on the TV.
Yes, she's like, what are you guys talking about?
Oh God, Jay, shut
This
up! Don't
is
say
who
nothing.
they hang out with every day.
Yeah, this is not the time, JBB.
Yeah.
I told you guys. You know I'm muted. You know he's not taking that chance.
Yeah.
I think at the last race he was actually looking for you.
Yeah, everybody.
Oh man, these guys. Now they know that we're popping in and out of that channel. They're trying to monitor what they're saying, but I think we caught them in the middle of something. As JBB, assuming we have him muted, we definitely do not. We're taking all of the communications in, uncensored here, for better or worse, as we wait to go green once again, and the flags are waving and the trucks are off. Lynch in the front. Markham trying to squeeze him on the outside as they push towards the turn here. James in 3rd place. Ronnie piling right behind them. Chris melting around and out our top 5 as they push around the turn. They're going to look back here in the middle of the pack. We have Chris pushing his way up right behind Steve Harris there in the 1 car. The 11 of Tyler Spriel pushing his way right behind Daniel Christmas there in the 23. Rounding out our top 10 there. Oh man, that driver insight is great. Being able to listen into those guys. I wish they wouldn't have said anything about me being in there though. I really want to hear the raw data that we can get out of them. See if anyone went in for repairs. It doesn't look like we did. Jane finding his way out in front. First time today. Sure, it won't be the last. He's going to push his way around. He's got great car control. We've seen it from him all season. He is one of the East Coast Truck Driver Series, showing the challengers how it is done and what they're competing for in the series that competes right after this. Broadcasted over there by the great guys on Sensational TV. Make sure you check that out. Shane trucking his way around. Chris trying to chase him down. Lynch now finding himself in 3rd place for the first time today. Slowly slipping away after that 1st place start. This is a 55-lap showdown here, people. Early on, we've had 1 caution, and it looks like another caution coming out as the field is going to have to slow down and check up. We'll see if we can figure out what happened there. Not quite sure. Let me take a peek. See if we can figure out what happened. Like we might be just getting a wall hit here. Huh. Not quite sure what caused that. Oh, there it is, right there. It looks like the 16 and the 23, or the 22 there of Christmas are getting into it. No, that's the 23. They find themselves on the wall. Let's listen in and see if we can get anything from our drivers over there.
Had that issue last week or 2 weeks ago.
It was last week.
Oh, shit, I just dropped
Build
2 spots
will
waiting on him.
reset once again.
Okay,
Drivers are in the
shut this
pits.
up.
We'll see if there's a shakeup in our top 10 here as they're pulling out. Some are already out. We'll see what pit strategies are. 2 tires, 4 tires. Are we just pulling fuel? Looks like quite a bit of tire changes there as they're in the pit for a good amount of time.
Coming up.
Drivers are staying quiet. They know that we're listening in. Out
Oh,
of
you
pits
guys.
we go.
Nope, I'm here for a while.
I thought you had that.
I thought I did too.
That's why I gave up after just letting you go.
We were well, I'm not going to say it yet. Let it clear first.
I saw a lot of red.
They're trying to hold back, I can tell. They are monitoring. I'm going to have to get a mute sound on me when I go in and out of their comms. Here on the inside line, shaking it up, we have Melton, James, Lynch, Tyler in the 11, Bobby Brown rounding out the 5 there on the inside. On the outside, we have Rogers, Shane, Pylon, Springer, Dremel, all pulling in on the outside. We will see if one of them can get an advantage. Melton or Rogers pushing his way around. I did have the opportunity to share the track a little bit with Rogers. He did have a solid speed and pace. So we'll see if he can maintain it throughout the entirety of this race. Very easy to have something go wrong here at Darlington if we don't have the patience we need from the drivers on the track. Shane finding his way in 4th there, which is an interesting drop. Something must have happened to him there in the pits, or we had a shake-up with the strategies in the top. The green flag is out. Chris is off there in the 49, looking to push him on the outside. There is Rogers in the 69. James trying to close off in on that 2nd position, pushing him there on the 17 car on the inside line right now. Then in the 69 into that shaky zone. He contacts the wall. 17 gets the position. Chris James commanding 2nd position after that restart. Starting off in 3rd place there in the 17 car. That was quite the move there as he shoved him up into the wall. Made a little bit of contact. Hopefully that 69 of Ash Rogers front end on that right side didn't take too much damage when he contacted the wall. 17's getting a little shaky there as he's trying to pass 49 on the inside of Chris Melton. Can Chris James get the move? Melton closes him off. Nope. 17 on the inside looking to take the lead for the first time today. Chris James finding himself in the lead position. Chris Melton right behind him, still putting the pressure on him. Shane closing that gap as they're battling their way. Ash Rogers trying to capitalize on the battle at hand. We will see which one can make their way in, holding it down as we head into lap 17 of 55. Taking a look here. Daryl Griffin and Steve Harris finding themselves together in the back here, trying to move around the track, catching up to Chris that's right in front of them. Oh, shake up in the field. We just saw the back end of that. Chris finds his way around it. Field is checking up. We're under caution here for the 3rd time at Darlington. Looks like Shane may have been mixed up in that along with Chris. That's 2 of our top drivers here in this race. Have to see what happened. That's Shane there in the orange and black. 49 of Chris Melton on the high side there. Right behind him is the 69. .49 just gets right into the back end there of Shane, which is going to turn him around, sending him right into the wall. Unfortunate events here as we head into the mid parts of the race. If anyone else took damage there besides those 2, the 47 and the 49 may have been the only casualties, having to head back into the pits, getting some repairs there. That is going to send us back to caution. That is going to send us once more, seeing if we can gain any insight from these drivers here as we sneak into their comm channels. They trained these guys. We got paid actors in the driver's channel.
This old black lady claims who she wants to. I got
That's
something to
true.
help you back out.
All right, buddy.
Oh, that's angering me. Told me I had damage and went into pit. It was 0.2 seconds of damage.
It's just your stripe.
Bobby Brown there talking about how he has just a couple seconds of damage, sending him into the pits without the need. Dropping him back a couple of positions here as he makes his way back onto the track.
Went a lap down for no reason.
We'll see if that ends up being something that affects Johnny Bobby Brown, as he's going to fall a lap behind the leaders here. Pace car is out. Top 10 is shaken up there by that last wreck. Take a look at our current top 10, as it's going to have a couple of new names here. On the inside line on 17 is James Chris out there. In the 9, we have Joe Lynch. We have Ronnie Pilon in the 55. In the 9, making his way into the top 10 for the first time tonight, is Chris Trimmel. In the 4 car, we have Daryl Griffin on the outside line. We have Ash Rogers in the 69, Tyler Spree in the 11, Richard Springer in the 22, Chris Boswell in the 66, and Johnny Bobby Brown out there in the 88, rounding out the outside line. We once again will wait the pull of the pace car as we head into the middle parts of this race. Had a good little battle there in the front. We'll see what happens here as pace car pulls off and we look to go green. Flag is waving. We are green. 17 with a great launch. That's Chris James out there. Ash Rogers trying to chase him down on the outside. Joe Lynch trying to close that gap on him, not allowing it, making them go side by side for a little bit of a battle here to see who will take that second spot. 55 looking to push behind them. Can he capitalize? Someone sends themselves into the wall up there. That's going to shake up someone in the middle of the pack. That red and white car out there on the wall, 22 getting around. It's going to capitalize on position moves. Daryl Griffin right behind him. Johnny Bobby Brown all making moves around that car that found themselves up there on the wall. Our current race leader, Chris James, holding it down in first place after a third place qualifying. Ash Rogers right behind him in the 69 car. Started in 13th place. That's big movement for him, currently sitting in second. Ronnie Pylon finding himself currently in third in a battle with the 9. Looking to push him on the inside there. That is Chris. East Coast driver right here trying to show these guys what it is all about. Putting pressure on them, simulating what they need to do to make it to the next level as they're pushing around in the Challenger Series. This is a feeder series to the East Coast, and our drivers have to prove it here. A few of those drivers out of the East Coast get pulled in here, giving those drivers exactly what they need to know. Chris James in the 17 having no problems at all as he pushes around Darlington here tonight. Heading towards lap 25 of 55. 30 to go. Driver check-in letting us know he has 6 minutes of damage. He's going to throw himself back out there. I'm sure we will see at least 1 or 2 more cautions, so I'm sure time will allow for it. Let's actually take a look in now at drivers who have currently been in for repairs. Brian Smith, Kyle Giles, Daniel Christmas, Chris Boswell, all sending in some repair times as we look towards pit strategies. As we went in last time, our 2 leaders have yet to pit. Everyone else has at least gone in for tires and fuel. That'll be an interesting... Oh, caution out 1 more time here at Darlington as we are going to be checking up and seeing what happened there. It looks like Chris Boswell in the 62 might have been involved. Let's see here. Finds himself into the wall. Very common here on that turn. Gonna just take him down and send the caution out. Oh, coming back up. Daryl Griffin gets into the back of him as 62 is weaving back and forth out of control. Johnny Bobby Brown trying to check up right behind him. Squeaking by just barely is the 88 as the 62 weaves up and down the track, causing a little bit more damage than we would have liked to see there. That's going to send Daryl Griffin likely into the pits for a little bit of damage. There is the 4 of Daryl Griffin. Let's see if he's heading into the pits. Looks like he will be into the pits to serve some of the repairs due to getting into the back end there of the 62. Hopefully it's not too much. He's able to get back out there quick. Johnny Bobby Brown burning rubber as he heads out of the pit, looking to try to gain a few positions. Battle of the pit advantage. Daniel Christmas in the 23 getting the wave around in the Lucky Dog car. He's going to gain a lap back. It'll send him around the track. Catch back up with the field here as he looks to gain his lap back. Kyle Giles in the 05 also getting a wave around there, so he will find his way around the track, getting a lap back. That 05 car is Kyle there, heading around the track, capitalizing on that wave around. Started in 8th, currently finding himself back a couple positions in 12th. Looking to get back on the lead lap and see if he can get a few more positions. Let's take a look at our current top 10 as we are pacing around for the 4th time here today. On our inside line, we have the 17 of Chris James, the 55 of Ronnie Pilon, the 9 of Chris Trumbull. We got 88 of Johnny Bobby Brown. We got the 62 of Boswell as the green flag is out. On the outside is Joe Lynch, Rogers, Springer, Griffin, and Tyler rounding out the top 10 as we push around here, coming off our 4th caution. Chris with a great launch. Joe right behind him. Ronnie right there in line as well. Ash Rogers finding his position there in 4th. Chris, Richard Springer there in the 22. Also forming a line quick here. These guys know the job. They're finding the patience they need early on. Let's go. Chris with the fan shout-outs. We got multiple Chris's out there, so you're going to have to be a little bit more, sounded like someone hit the wall there. Chris Boswell getting the meatball flag in the 62. He's going to find himself in the pit. Hopefully that is not your Chris. But if it is this guy, Chris James out in 1st in the 17th. He is having a hell of a run here in the 17 tonight. Pushing his way around as we go with 24 laps left here in Darlington. Joe Lynch in the 09 car chasing James down. Ash Rogers trying to stay in 3rd place there in the 69 car. Getting in his way with a little bit of a battle here in the 55. Ronnie Pilon on the inside trying to push him, trying to see which one of them will get position. That's going to send 9 into the wall quite. See if he can get around there. The 9 of Chris Brummel just tapping the wall there a hair. I don't think he took too much damage on his front end. He's still pushing his way behind Richard Springer there in the 22. We have a new leader. Joe Lynch is temporarily taking control. It looks like, oh, nope. Chris shut that down real quick. It must have been a real fast swap back and forth. 17 still out in the lead. 19 trying to chase him down. We got 69, 22, 9 of Chris. All the top 5 there. LBS Racing shouting out their driver. Currently in 1st place with 21 to go at Darlington Motor. Ronnie Pilon currently sitting in 6th position after a 4th place start in the 55, trying to get back up there behind the bumper of Chris right in front of him, representing the East Coast Truck Series. Pushing these challengers to the brink in this Week 7 competition. Chris maintaining his lead position here. 37 of 55 laps in the books. 4 cautions down. 2 lead changes. Taking a look at updated repair times, it looks like Steve Harris leading the way with 6 minutes and 14 of repairs. Hopefully he's been back out there on the track. He checked in with us in the chat earlier. Brian Smith with about 5 minutes of repairs. Kyle with 3. Daniel Christmas with 2 minutes and 52 seconds of repairs. Chris Boswell with 1 minute and 14 of repairs. So we've had quite a few drivers with over a minute there. We'll see if them fixing those repairs will end up benefiting them. All drivers have now entered the pit at least once. Top 10 all on the current strategy, with Darrell having to do a few repairs there last time in the 4 car. Joe Lynch in the 9, our new race leader for the moment, as he's trying to push James on the outside. Gets the position. James falls in behind him there. What a battle here out in front between the 09 of Lynch and the 17 of James. Checking in on the middle of the field here, we have the 05 car of Kyle Giles pushing his way around the track, trying to get a lap back, hoping for a caution in the field. Kyle started in 8th, currently finding himself in 10th. He's hoping for a caution so that he can get a lap back. He's our first lapped car, so he would be our lucky dog contestant if that were to happen. So we will hopefully check in on him here shortly if a caution comes out, seeing if he gets that lead lap. But as we head back into our leader battle here, Joe Lynch and Chris James battling back and forth in the 09 and the 17. Chris finding himself in 5th as he pushes his way from the back of the field. He started out in 14th. This is a big movement from him here tonight. Number 1 of Steve Harris finding himself back in the pits. Johnny Bobby Brown currently sitting in 8th position, pushing there behind Christmas, trying to work together to see if they can catch the rest of the field. Darrell Griffin in front of Johnny Bobby Brown. Currently looking to get a little bit closer there to Ronnie Pilon in the 55 right behind him. In front of him we have Chris Richard Springer. Checking in with Kyle here as he's pushing his way around the track. He needs to keep his momentum up here, looking for a caution to try to get back a lap. Only 11 to go. We're running out of time. We'll hope, will luck be on his side. Taking a look at our current race leader, Joe Lynch. Him and James have been battling it back and forth here for the last couple of laps. Looks like James is settling in behind him. Will he have enough left in the tank to try to push in on him as we take a look at the top of Chris's car here? Trying to close that gap in front of him. At the moment, Chris, at this pace, he's currently losing Joe. Tire management is coming into play here in these last few laps. Chris is going to close down this gap here on Lynch. He's really going to have to string together a few clean laps and hope that Lynch has an error, maybe finds himself into the wall, which is very common here at Darlington. Joe Lynch pushing his way around with 7 to go, looking to find himself out in first place around Darlington. That would be an impressive win for him. We're hoping that the East Coast Truck Series is going to be a good one. Tonight here we had a few cautions. It wasn't too messy. I'm assuming the East Coast is going to be a little bit cleaner. We've had a few here tonight, though, as we've had 4 cautions. Currently our top 8 on the lead lap. Everyone else is hoping for a caution as we push into our final 5 laps here tonight for the Challenger Truck Series. And we await the grand showing there in the East Coast with our current East Coast leader checking in the chat, Braxton. He is looking to hold down his lead from Dylan in the East Coast Truck Series tonight, which is the main event in the trucks for the S.M.A.S.H League. Make sure you guys check that out over on Sensational TV as Braxton and Dylan are looking to close out the season with a heck of a battle for us. Everyone's looking forward to see what they're going to do. They had a chance to check in on the podcast this week, and they gave us a lot of insight. It's really cool that 2 of the fastest guys in this league are open to sharing their information with the rest of the people there. They want to close. They want everyone to be as close as possible in time, right? They want the challenge to be there for them as well. They don't want to be out there in front just destroying everyone every week. They want it to be as competitive as possible so that they can get practice that they want as well. Guys are racing in real life. They're racing in the sim, and they want it to be as helpful as possible. 4 to go here at Darlington to close out the season 1 of the Challenger Truck Series, which is, again, the feeder division for the East Coast boys. As our East Coast guys are in the top 2 of 3 positions there. Lynch holding it down in the 9. Chris right behind him in the 17. Ash Rogers in 3rd place, trying to hold off Springer in the 22 car. He's trying to move in on the inside now, battling him for that 3rd position with 3 to go. Temporarily getting in there. Oh, the 22 and the 69 end up getting into a little bit of a scrimmage there. Sending the 69 into the wall. His front end, as you can see, is going to have a little bit of damage on the front right. That's going to end up slowing him down as Springer is going to take command there of the 3rd position. That is an unfortunate event for him there. Yeah, we're looking forward to see what Braxton and Dylan are going to do tonight over in the East Coast Truck Series. That's for sure. They're going to go out with a bang for us. It's going to be a hell of a race between those 2. Everyone is looking forward to what they're going to do. Chris James trying to close down. White flag is out. Lynch in front. James behind him in 2. Richard Springer in the 22 car capitalizing on that damage between him and the 69. 69 still pushing his way around the track, currently finding his way in 4th, trying to hold off with the damage he has. He looks a little bit shaky. 55, Ryan Pilon trying to push him on the outside there as we head to the finish line for the lap leaders. And that will do it for us here at Darlington. The Challenger Season 1 has ended as we look towards Season 2. And we continue to get better drivers out there into the East Coast Series. Been a hell of a season. Let's take a look real quick at our top 3 finishers there. Once again, in P1, that is the 09 of Joe Lynch, Chris James in the 17, Richard Springer in the 22, wrapping it up for us. Hell of a race between all 3 of them as they're out there celebrating, much deserved, pushing around some donuts there for the 09. Take a little bit more in-depth of a dive here at our final standings. Once again, our top 3, Joe Lynch, Chris James, and Richard Springer. Richard Springer in the 22, our hard charger, moving 12 positions there. Great movement from him as he pushed his way through a field on a track that is not easy to make passes. You really have to be patient to get your way around here, and he showed that patience, which rewarded him with a third place finish out there in the 22. Most laps led Joe Lynch in the 09, finding himself in first place. It was 26 laps in the lead for him. Chris James in second position with the fastest lap. It really goes to show that if you're consistent out there, it's going to end up rewarding you. Ronnie Pylon Rogers, Chris Travel, Daryl Griffin, Johnny Bobby Brown, Daniel Christmas, and Kyle Giles all rounding out the top 10 for us here. It was a great battle in this Week 7 showdown. We will see if our winners are in the Discord. I'm going to pull them in here. Let's see. Where are they at? Where are they at? John Stern, can you copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
How'd that race go for you, man?
Well, judging by the finishing result, I think it went pretty well. I'll be honest with you.
Is that about what you were expecting here tonight?
No, sir. I was gonna be happy with the top 10 tonight. This was my first race in the league, so just trying to get out there and not ruffle any feathers and just come home with a good result. And then I got pole, and I'm like, all right, well, we'll see how this goes. And then that long run, I was just able to save the tire and brought it home and got it.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a shaky start there for the race, but once the field got settled, it looked like it was quite a battle between you and Chris James there in the 17. Tell us a little bit about that. You finally got him there at the end, and once you were able to get that position from him, you just didn't give it back.
Yeah, I'd been kind of sizing him up, see how he races, because sometimes in iRacing, sometimes they'll run you on the wall and not give you anything. But he was kind of giving me space where he needed to, and I'm like, I'll test the outside on him. Good on him. He raced me clean, gave me just enough space on the outside, not an inch more, and raced me clean to turn one. And props to him. Like that was some really clean racing on his part.
Yeah, Darlington, I mean, a track where you really have to show patience, especially there on the passing. You guys managed to both keep it pretty clean. I saw a couple of other people sending each other into the wall trying to make moves. But between you two, it was a very clean battle, and you managed to squeeze them out there on the end. What are you looking towards? You mentioned this was your first race. What are you doing for Season 2 here in the S.M.A.S.H League?
Oh, I'm down to come back. I'm not sure how all this works, but I'm down to come back for a Challenger Series or whatever. But just some good Friday night fun is all I'm looking for.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for your time. We'll let you get going. Again, congratulations here on the race win tonight. We look forward to seeing you over in Season 2 and watching you continue to get these wins here in the S.M.A.S.H League.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Take it easy, buddy.
Yes, sir.
On behalf of everyone at the Impact Racing Network and everyone at the S.M.A.S.H League, we thank you for stopping by. No one else wanted to have a post-race interview, so we will end it there. You guys are awesome. Make sure you tune in to the East Coast Truck Series, which is going to take off in a race that's twice as long as this one. It is going to be a hell of a battle between Braxton and Dylan, who are currently 1 and 2. And again, that is what all these people here in the Challenger Series are competing to be a part of, and it is a hell of a thing to watch. And we are excited to bring you that coverage here on the Impact Racing Network. Until next time, we will catch you guys later. I am Darren Vell. Have a good night. Take it easy, and remember, Simsational TV will bring in the East Coast Truck Series here for you a little bit shortly tonight. Make sure you tune in.